Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. As a reminder, please note the board meetings are being recorded for the convenience of those unable to attend. A recording and closed captioning will be posted on the BERS YouTube channel following the meeting. Alex, can you please call roll?
Of course. Peter Calandrella.
Present.
Thank you. Isaac Carmignani. Janelle Chacon.
Present.
Thank you. April Chapman. Deborah Dillingham.
Present.
Thank you. Natalie Green-Childs.
Present.
Thank you. Michael Kraft.
Present.
Thank you. Vanessa Lim.
Here.
Thank you. Barry Linden. John Maderick.
Here.
Thank you. Donald Nesbitt.
Here.
Thank you. Lindsay Oates.
Here.
Thank you. Laurie Podvesker. And Shannon Wade.
Here.
Thank you.
We have a quorum. The first order of business is calendar item 1, noting the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Retirement held on September 18th, 2019. The minutes have been previously provided to the board via the SharePoint site. May I have a motion to consider the minutes from the September 18th board meeting? Thank you, Deb. Second. Thank you, Michael. Please raise your hand if you vote to approve the minutes. Please raise your hand if you vote to not approve the minutes. Any abstentions? Noted. The minutes carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Executive Director's update. Sandy, would you like to share any remarks with us?
I would. Educational items. This is getting a little repetitive, but realize Baruch Pension Trustee Investment Management course started October 2nd, 8th, and meeting the 29th. I believe Isaac is attending that.
So
And Michael. Okay, next two modules are in November, December, and December, January. If anyone has any interest to be included, please let me know. We can get you included.
I'll go to the November. I'll
November?
just say it's been fabulous so far.
Very good. October 24th, noon to 2 p.m. There's a KKR Lunch and Learn session. This is part of our relationship with KKR. Remember, we are partnered with KKR on a number of private equity investments. This lunch will focus on their efforts in Asia. Accredited fiduciary program. We have trustees attending the NCBERS fiduciary training program October 26th to 27th, and the public safety conference that follows immediately thereafter, the 27th and 30th. It's not too late to attend. If you have any interest, please let me know. November 4th, and by the way, all this information is on the SharePoint site, but November 4th, 9:30 to 2, CFO Institute, sponsored by MOPI. It's a trustee educational session. I recommend that. It's local. November 6th and 7th, National Association of Securities Professionals has a New York symposium, and that information is on the SharePoint site. That's a drinks and entertainment on the 6th, and the 7th is an all-day seminars. Among the seminars is a cybersecurity seminar that I will chair. January 21st to 24th, Coriad Trustee Conference for trustees of New York City Board of Ed Retirement will be January 24th, 25th, 26th. We've posted a sample agenda on the SharePoint site. There's also a copy of that agenda in your green file folder so you can understand the timing and the potential topics we'll be talking about. A quick update on 55 Water. We go through a walkthrough at 9 a.m. on November 1st. We will take possession if we pass that walkthrough, and we will begin the technology restack, which will be required because the current tenant is ripping out all their technology. The practical reality is that means we have to wait 3 to 4 months for Cisco switches to come from China. But it means we'll be in by the end of the fiscal year, and likely we'll have temporary access to that facility in the next few months as we set up temporary communications capabilities and VPN from that site. We still have a capacity issue on the 16th floor, 65 port, as we get muscled out of some of our extra space on the 10th and 17th floors. Some other items that are in your folders and also on the SharePoint site. On October 10th, we posted a Velocity Project update. This is from our project managers, GTJC. I will summarize it very quickly. On budget, on time. We start a lot of very significant testing in the next few weeks, and we're into a period of aggressive development. Also included in your documents and was shared on the SharePoint site is a risk letter. This risk letter relates to requirements in the city being developed by New York City Cyber Command, a new agency. And this agency is policing the cybersecurity of all agencies in the city. We will have to respond. We will respond. We will integrate all their demands into our development, and that just will take some time and effort. This is DTJZ's warning that may cost us money and time. These are both risks. I don't think they're very significant.
Just a clarification on when is the new cyber security, what's the word, going into place? I was confused why, it sounded like they could have been incorporated into the original project plan of the law.
We didn't incorporate them. They approached us months ago.
Cybersecurity is relatively new in the last 2 years, probably 2 years. It doesn't actually, it's a direct report up to almost every mayor, zoning, or anything. It's not part of the city's DO-IT agency, which is the Department of Information Technology for the rest of the city. And for all city projects, we are required to comply with the same rules and regs to ensure they're working with the Department of Homeland Security and others to ensure that all of our systems are safe.
Yeah. And our May 2017 go live for CPMS included the DO-IT sponsored cybersecurity review and compliance audits. So this is just a new agency doing the same thing for new systems. And you know, CPMS passed that requirement. So this is just making sure Velocity meets all the new requirements.
So, can you say a little more about when you say time and money? Because you know, Sandy, we've spoken before.
Yep.
I think the board has been pretty vocal that time and money is not something that GT and whatever their thing is has with us. So what are we talking about?
It's a risk. I don't believe it will cost us more time and more money.
Oh,
This is
okay.
them warning us that it could.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if it actually does, it'll come to you.
Okay.
And then another document shared on SharePoint, there was some requests for additional information flowing to the board, which I welcome. You will start seeing it tonight. And that document is a reporting regime. There was Russell and I and some of my staff worked out the demands from the last board meeting. We proposed in that document quarterly and monthly and annual reporting regimes, because I think if we reported all this stuff on a monthly basis, it would be very difficult to manage the meetings. Just as a sample launch, you know, we have a lot of this data already that you've asked for, but it's a sample launch. You'll find in your package, and again on SharePoint, the EEO and compensation analysis summary that came from our 2018 EEO audit. You'll also find some recent backlog analysis, and I can summarize the backlog analysis very quickly, and then I'll ask Josiah to answer any questions. But backlog, a little over a year ago, we would have said it was over 4 years. About 6 months ago, we said they'd be cut down almost by half. Backlogs are effectively gone by the end of the year. Josiah, our Deputy Director of Operations, currently Acting Director of Operations, has done a remarkable job running operations under reduced staff. And part of this is about data accumulation and analysis. What you're going to find in your package is some very summary statistics and narrative around the backlog. Understand that what you're seeing is a summary of about 19 pages of data that we monitor on a monthly basis. We haven't started posting that aggregate of data on the website yet. We're going to try to make it a little bit more digestible before we do so, but you can expect monthly to see detailed analysis of all the operations across the agency. And then the two last items in the package are our first quarter budget. Are there any questions about the operating statistics?
Yeah, I have one.
Please, Jen.
Josiah, can you say more about how you were able to pull this rabbit out of the hat?
Well, the first thing that I did was in structured operations. I made the units, I segregated our functions. I made it more function-based. Before, the organizational structure, the departmental structure was process-based. So when we structured it, it's more function-based, it was more specialized, it was smaller units. We also name new supervisors to the smaller units, and it was just more controlled. That's mainly what we did.
Thank you.
You can't underestimate what the benefit of the tracking has been for the entire operations across all our activities. And they're not all tracked at the moment, but we're running out of the major impact tracking systems. But, you'll see more tracking systems.
Can I just make a real quick request?
Please.
Which is just try to add a few days before the meeting.
Yes.
In issuing reports, just give me a chance to digest.
Yeah, and we will be available to answer questions on all this material if you want to reach out direct. I apologize, we had this month was the first month that the whole leadership team was required to provide a monthly narrative and commentary report. And we hit them with this also simultaneously in 2.5 weeks, and we're strained to get it to you in time. And you may find some grammatical errors. I'm a little bit concerned about that. But anyway, if you find any, please let us know. Then you'll also find the first quarter budget analysis, which actually on large categories identifies our spend rate for 2020 against the aggregate budget, and also compares our spend rate to 2019, so you have a feeling for whether we're ramping up spending faster than we did last year. In general, we didn't, but if you have any questions, JD's here to talk about that. Hearing no questions, the final item is a hard copy of the Key West proposed agenda, and that will continue to be refined. But I'd like people to see that. I'd like you to consider attending. The Key West event is going to be important in finalizing our IPS. It's going to be important for trustees to understand the changes we are making in the administrative infrastructure of our investment program, and important that you understand how we are going to analyze and report to you, we believe, in a more detailed and timely way than the other systems in the city. And that is all for me. It's enough.
So that was a lot of information. Are there any other questions about the operational report? Because now is going to be the time in the agenda to have that conversation. As Sandy said, there will be more to come earlier next time, but if there are requests about whether there's different information added to this list or on a different review cadence, share now, or you can share offline with Sandy, and we can add to this, obviously.
And we have a more robust conversation in November.
I have one question. Would you rather have this, I know we're going to put it under SharePoint, but is any one of you would be interested in seeing this also by email? We can
Yes.
do that.
Yeah, we can send this package out by email.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
happy to do that.
Can you, I don't wanna tease out any one thing, because I know we don't have a lot of time. Is there an update on the consulting for the enrollment, trying to get the enrollments up?
We're knocking the contract with Siegel Marco down. I believe it's in their hands at this point. Is there any, Sharon, confirming that. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Sandy. The next item on the agenda is an attorney-client session. Can I have a motion to go into attorney-client? Thank you, Donald. Second. Thank you, Vanessa. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Members of the public, please exit the room. Please turn the camera off.
Just run through it and get down. Hope the best.
So, given the interest of time, we can table some of the agenda items. I think that one option is to table all of the contract authorization requests.
I second, that's fine. Is there anything on there that's critical?
Yeah, I would like to consider CAISA. We should respond to the climate consultant. I would recommend we respond to that.
We meant, I think, items
10.
5, 6, 7, and 8, and
And
9.
Cushman, because it expires.
Yes. So let's go down the list, shall we? So tabling item 5, which is enter into an agreement with IWG PLC Regus for temporary office space. That seems like,
Well, we're trying to accommodate being booted off the 10th floor. If we could approve this,
requested.
we're being asked to leave the 10th floor. This is temporary space that would allow us to move people somewhere other than 65 Court. There's a possibility we wouldn't use it. We've approved this before and not used it because we found alternatives, and we will continue to look, but we're asking this be approved, so it's a viable option to us.
All right, the next item on the agenda is calendar item 18, authorization to enter into an agreement with IWG PLC Regus for temporary office space in the Board of Education Retirement System. Can I have a motion to consider?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm back on the script.
But did we skip to 17?
No,
that's
number 5.
Calendar item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I saw,
I did skip ordinary business. I'm sure Alex would really like it a lot if we voted on that. The next item on it, so let me go back. Excuse me. The next item on the agenda is calendar items 2 through 17, the ordinary business of BERS. Is there a motion to consider calendar item 2 through 17? Thank you, Michael. Second. Thank you, Shannon. Alex, can you please tell us about the ordinary business of BERS?
Sure. Yes, these are all the retirements, refunds, and death benefits that have been approved or calculated since the last time this board met.
Thank you, Alex. We will now vote on these items. Please raise your hand if you vote to approve. Thank you. Any opposition? Any abstentions? No? Okay, the vote carries. Now we are on calendar item 18, authorization to enter into an agreement with IWG Regus for temporary office space for the Board of Education Retirement System. Can I have a motion to consider? Thank you, Gary. Second. Thank you, Don. JD, can you tell us about this resolution? I think we'll skip that because it sounds like Sandy just did.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, JD and Sandy. Any questions from the board?
No.
All right, let's vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The vote carries. The next item on the agenda is calendar item 19, authorization to enter into an agreement with Mclean and Company to provide HR research and advisory services to the Board of Education Retirement System. Can I have a motion to consider?
Do we need to vote to move to consider to table it?
Alex?
Yeah, consider them too.
Okay, consider as a table. So yes, thank you, Shannon. Second, thank you, Gary. Would we like to hear about this resolution?
No.
I move to table this resolution.
Second, thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Janelle. All right, so let's vote. We will be voting to table this resolution. All in favor? Any oppositions? Any abstentions? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is calendar item 20, authorization to extend an agreement with Cushman Wakefield to provide real estate advisory services to the Board of Education Retirement System. Can I have a motion to consider? We need to do this if we want to table. Thank you. John, second. Thank you, Shannon. Sandy, can you tell us about this resolution?
I would ask you not to table this. Our contract with Cushman & Wakefield is at an end. We are finalized a 7-year sublease. We intend to extend that to 20 to 30 years. We intend to take the entire floor. We intend to qualify for a tax break, which will reduce our costs over the long term and lock in attractive rentals. And Cushman & Wakefield is prepared to begin that negotiation. It is likely to take over a year.
Yeah, this is about.
And this is not directly
This is
costing us.
supporting the
This
move
is,
about
to
the move.
55 water.
yes, this is
Yes.
just by water.
Yes. Okay. Let's vote. All in favor to approve this resolution? Any oppositions? Any abstentions? Thank you, Peter. The next item on the agenda is calendar item 21, authorization to commit funds for the provision of system maintenance services. Can I have a motion to consider? Thank you, Gary. Second. Thank you, Vanessa. Sandy, can you tell us about this resolution?
This is budgeted money that we pay Vitech. It comes from a pool of over 6,000 hours that we contract for, and this is the billing process of us using those hours and getting billed for them. But this is under an existing contract, existing budget.
To support the maintenance services. for
Maintenance services,
CPMS.
Velocity, and CPMS. Yep. Ongoing production and implementation.
And the consequence of this not being voted on today is?
If we don't pay them, there's always a risk they stop working. I don't think it's a huge risk, but this is an obligation under our contract. I think we're being good business partners by paying it. These are incurred expenses.
So if we don't vote on this, they're not gonna get paid next month?
They won't get paid for this 1.2 million, yes, that they billed us.
But
That's
this is budgeted money, this
It's
is just
budgeted money.
releasing the money.
You are allowing us to pay an invoice which is already encompassed in the budget, or in,
What date is the invoice?
do you have that information, JD? I mean, we wouldn't be presenting it to you if we hadn't received it, it's probably dated in July or August.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be my guess, I can confirm that for you, but these are expenses incurred under our contract with Vitech related to hours that are approved in that contract, priced at $205 an hour. We've incurred these expenses in the improvement of CPMS and the development of velocity, and they're just billing us under the contract. We can't pay a bill without your approval.
Okay, let's vote. Okay, all in favor to approve the resolution? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, the vote carries. The next item on the agenda is calendar item 22, authorization to amend an agreement with Unique Computer Inc. to provide consulting and support services. Can I, motion to consider? Thank you, and thank you, Vanessa. Josiah, can you tell us about this resolution, please?
This resolution is to authorize an increase of the contract value of Unique or the not to exceed amount to finish up the scope of work, which was more than was anticipated for. This money is already budgeted, but Unique is the consultants that helped us develop all of the SharePoint web-based tracking systems, and there's still some work that they need to complete. But because the burn rate was higher, since the work was more than anticipated, we reached the limit, the contract value not to exceed amount.
And this contract ends in December,
And what is the amount?
$151,000, the original contracts.
It's an additional $35,000.
Yeah.
For the.
So that's the new cap on the contract, $151,000.
Any other questions? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed, any abstentions? No? Okay. The next item on the agenda is calendar item 23, authorization to enter into an agreement with Cassia LLC to provide quantitative portfolio technology to the Board of Education Retirement System. Can I have a motion to consider? Thank you, Don. Second, Michael, thank you. Antonio, can you tell us about this resolution quickly?
Yes, absolutely. And actually, can you give 15 seconds on this so we
So
can
we
start?
run a full RFP, we got 8 participants, we got finalists. We went to a 2 days deep dive with 4 finalists. 2 of them were selected as the finalists and 1 of them, Kaisa, was the winner. We asked best and final offers for the last 2. This Kaisa is the one that's going to get us one step closer to establish the investment office for BERS, as well as the ability to have full transparency and availability of information on demand for the members of the school.
And we have the write-up in your packets. And then some of the folks who did get a chance to see it as well. And it looks like this is going to be coming in significantly under budget.
Any questions? Okay, let's vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, the vote carries. The next item on the agenda are the investment items that should be in executive session. Can I have a motion to enter executive session? Thank you, Vanessa. Second. Thank you, Michael. Let's vote. All in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are now in executive session. Please turn the camera off.
Real assets portfolio, calendar item 26, authorization of the controller to proceed with a public equity annual implementation plan. Calendar item 27, authorization of the controller to proceed with a public fixed income annual implementation plan. And calendar item 28, authorization of the controller to proceed with the alternative credit high yield and bank loans annual implementation plan.
Thank you, Alex. The next item on our agenda is noting the issuance of GASB 7475 report dated September 13th, 2019, and GASB 6768 report dated September 27th, 2019. Can I have a motion to discuss? Thank you, Natalie. Second, thank you, Vanessa. Sherry, can you tell us quickly, and I apologize and respectfully ask for quickness because the chancellor is in the house and we are getting the hook.
That's fine. So I'm just going to pass, I'm show and tell items, so I thought I'd pass around the reports that you had just said, that was issued by my office. These are a pension report and a retiree healthcare report. These are disclosures for the liabilities for both of these plans, based on an accounting basis. And GASB stands for the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. So they have strict standards of how to report these liabilities and what needs to go in. The OPEB report is 170 pages or so, and then the pension one is about 180. If you aren't interested in looking at a hard copy, a soft copy is available on the website of my agency.
Thank you, Sherry. The final item on this agenda will be tabled. Okay, that concludes the agenda for this meeting. The next regular meeting of the BERS Board of Trustees will be held on Tuesday, November 26, 2019 at the Long Island City High School in Queens. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Vanessa. Second. Thank you, John. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Thank you.
assets portfolio. Calendar item 26, authorization of the controller to proceed with a public equity annual implementation plan. Calendar item 27, authorization of the controller to proceed with a public fixed income annual implementation plan. And calendar item 28, authorization of the controller to proceed with the alternative credit high yielding bank loans annual implementation plan.
Thank you, Alex. The next item on our agenda is noting the issuance of GASB 7475 report dated September 13th, 2019, and GASB 6768 report dated September 27th, 2019. Can I have a motion to discuss? Thank you, Natalie. Second, thank you, Vanessa. Sherry, can you tell us quickly, and I apologize and
It's okay.
respectfully ask for quickness because the chancellor is in the house and we are getting the
That is fine. So I'm just gonna pass, I'm show and tell items, so I thought I'd pass around, reports that would be like I said, that was issued by my office. These are a pension report and a retiree healthcare report. These are disclosures for the liabilities for both of these plans, based on an accounting basis. And GASB stands for the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. So they have strict standards of how to report these liabilities and what needs to go in. The OPEB report is 170 pages or so, and then the pension one is about 180. If you aren't interested in looking at a hard copy, a soft copy is available on the website of my agency.
Thank you, Sherry. The final item on this agenda will be tabled. Okay, that concludes the agenda for this meeting. The next regular meeting of the BERS Board of Trustees will be held on Tuesday, November 26th, 2019 at the Long Island City High School in Queens. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Vanessa. Second. Thank you, John. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The auditorium is just right to the right.
Yes.
Executive session. Please turn the camera off.